One of the biggest misconceptions I think people have about me is that like I eat all the time or something. I actually often have to remind myself to eat. I work all the time. I have a very busy and active lifestyle.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about someone that we've actually talked about a few times on the channel before. That is going to be Anna O'Brien, or Glitter and Lasers. Now, Anna is someone that is pretty popular in the weight loss space, but also like the health at every size kind of space, and also the body positivity space. I would say that she is more in the realm of body positivity. We've talked about her a lot, right? She is someone that is, overweight, but she's always been more than most people, I would say, comfortable sharing her body and the differences in how she looks. She has lipedema, so her body definitely looks different than other people's. And she shared herself in bikinis. She shared herself, just like on the beach. And we talked, I think the most recent time we talked about her was when she had the issue with getting a flight over to, overseas, and she had an issue with trying to buy 2 seats, and that it just ended up being kind of a debacle, right? So we've talked about Anna a few times. Well, Anna has always been someone that has been comfortable-ish talking about their weight and how, she has struggles with it, but she's tried to accept it. And, usually when you do that kind of thing, you kind of get pushed into the body positivity space or the health at every size space, right? And so I feel that Anna has struggled a little bit with that, where she's been kind of put, because it's always kind of felt like she maybe she was always, you could tell that she was someone that liked to move their body, liked to, be athletic, or at least, be able to do these athletic things. That's just my own interpretation. I could be completely wrong. But Anna recently got into, you could say it's a little bit of hot water. I feel like most people were supportive, but it was definitely, some people were upset with a post that she recently made. So let's just get into that post. This is the post right here. And it says, it's this photo of her, and it says, "My anxiety is chronic, but my personality is iconic." It's just a t-shirt that she is wearing. And if you can see that from that first clip that we showed at the very beginning of this video to this photo, Anna's lost quite a bit of weight, right? A good amount. And that's what this post is all about. So let's go ahead and read the caption. So it says, "Let's spill some tea. I am taking prescription medication to help manage my weight." Assuming that's probably going to be like Wegovy, I think is what that entails in this. So if you're not familiar, Wegovy is like, Ozempic. It's a semaglutide, helps people with weight loss. They've become pretty popular. I'm sure you've heard me talk about them or other people talk about them. "I originally was going to write this big post explaining why it worked for me, but you know what? I don't care. If taking medication to help me feel physically better is a problem, feel free to unfollow me. I'm also taking medication for Hashimoto's, anemia, vitamin deficiency, fibroids, and anxiety, in case treating those also enrages you." I think that's interesting because I do feel like people will say obesity is, something that is, self-caused, and so therefore you shouldn't be taking medications. I'm going to get into more of my thoughts on medications and surgeries and stuff like that later in the video. But I do think that's an interesting point. I think whatever you need to do to make it happen for you is basically what you should do. But she goes on to say, "I've said this before and I'll say it again. Health is complicated. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. I waited 9 months before starting this medication. I didn't do it lightly and investigated all my options before making the decision. Furthermore, it's not a magical solution, but part of a larger managed plan, which includes massive changes to my long-term diet, regular weight training, therapy, and movement for enjoyment." I like that. "I wasn't trying to keep it a secret. I just didn't want everyone else's opinion on it until I made up my own. Heck, I've only been on it for about 3 months, and it's still a new part of my journey, a new part of my story." That's definitely something that's difficult. And I think that if you're not someone that's in the public eye, I know the arguments are going to be like, well, she did it to herself. She put herself there. You're right. You're not wrong. But it doesn't change how that can make you feel, right? When you're in the public eye, you are going to be dealing with a lot of opinions. I know the answer is like, screw what other people think. You shouldn't worry about their opinions. Yes, you're right. But also, people are humans. They're not robots. And they are going to be worried about other people's opinions. So I am not at all surprised that she is, going to be worried about people's opinions. It's annoying, right? Regardless of if you put yourself in that situation or not, I can understand wanting to do things for yourself. But again, it gets a little sticky when you have been someone that, your weight has been a big part of your presence online. I do feel like that kind of changes things up. Again, we'll get into that later. And then she says at the end, also, let me be very clear. I won't recommend it to other people because I am not a doctor, just like I don't give diet advice because I'm not a dietitian, and I don't give workout advice because I'm not a physical trainer. In short, your health should be you and your doctor's business. So again, I think that everything that she says there, I really have no issues with it, right? I think that I've always said, whatever you need to do to lose weight healthily is what you should do. If that means losing it, quote unquote, naturally, great. If that means losing it with Ozempic or something similar, semaglutide, great. If that means getting surgery, great, right? As long as it's healthy and you are finding a way that you can stick to for the rest of your life, those are all good things. You know, with each tier, I do think like there are side effects of doing it without getting any sort of intervention, but I feel like there's less side effects usually than if you were to take that step up, right? So I always tell people you should really, really think about every step before you take it. So if you're doing it naturally, you know, quote unquote, losing weight naturally, you're not taking any sort of drug, you're not getting any surgical intervention, there are side effects and there are downsides, but I would say the downsides for the most part are probably going to be the least amount, right? There's going to be the least amount of downsides, but also it is the hardest. Okay, I don't want to say hardest, but it is very, very difficult. You're not getting any help, right? But then when you take that step up to getting some sort of medication, Wegovy, Ozempic, whatever, right? You're going to have something to help you along, of course, but those are going to come with their own side effects, which we've talked about before. I want to make it very clear. I am not against anyone getting any sort of, help. I think that, I've made a couple of videos about the side effects of Ozempic that people haven't talked about very much. And I've talked about the dangers of getting weight loss surgery. And I think that people think that I am against these things. I'm not at all. I mean, I think you could ask most of my friends that have gotten some sort of surgery or have used Ozempic. I personally feel like I've never made them feel bad or less than because of it. But I do think it's very, 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 very important that you understand the risks and the side effects of whatever it is that you are going to do, right? And so when you get the Ozempic or a Wegovy, like, yes, you are going to get a little bit of extra help, but that is going to come with side effects. And sometimes those are going to be more serious with like the depression and stuff like that. Or maybe it's just, you're pooping yourself, which is not great either. But again, you might be able to handle that. And then when you go into weight loss surgery, there are a lot of side effects that can come about. Obviously, with any surgery, there is chance of passing away while you're getting surgery. Obviously, that doesn't happen often, but that's one of them, right? A small chance. But more than that, you are going to be very limited on what you can eat for the, foreseeable future, probably for the rest of your life. There are going to be a lot of downsides or side effects from that surgery, but they could all be outweighed if it means that you are going to be able to lose weight, get in a healthy weight, and stay in that healthy weight for the rest of your life. I would say that that's probably worth it, right? Again, everyone needs to make that decision for themselves. Now, the thing that I will say with Anna, I actually wasn't that surprised when I read this post because obviously I saw that Anna was losing a lot of weight. I'm not going to say that whenever I see anyone losing weight, I'm thinking that they're on drugs. But there was this video right here was released. This was 3 months ago, okay? And if you remember, right, she talked about how she's been on this medication for 3 months. Now, this is called It's Bigger Than Me, The Cycle of Feeling Like a Failure, The Journey of Living with Obesity, It's Bigger Than Me series. And this is a series that is ran by Novo Nordisk, who is the maker of Wegovy, right? And you'll see in the very beginning of this clip why I was not too surprised if you just listen.
Yvette Nicole Brown and guests are all paid spokespersons for Novo Nordisk, Inc.
So Yvette Nicole Brown, who is the host of this show, if you might know her from Community, right? This woman. And everyone else was paid guests from Novo Nordisk or Wegovy, right? And they go on to talk about those things. I'll put some clips in right here.
One of the biggest misconceptions I think people have about me is that like I eat all the time or something. I actually often have to remind myself to eat. I work all the time. I have a very busy and active lifestyle. And if motivation was all it took for me to lose weight, look, I'd be skinny. But that isn't it, is it? Luckily, I finally found a doctor I love, and I'm on a health journey. And that's tailored to me and my challenges and my body. because I finally begun to understand that there isn't this one-size-fits-all solution for obesity. There just isn't.
So tell me what your specific journey includes.
Well, it started with my doctor, and we worked out a weight management plan that really worked for me. I work to get out of my comfort zone all the time, and I try new things physically. I've started meditating in order to create mindfulness in my life, and I try to make sure I'm drinking enough water and sleeping enough. Those really do help. And I use my platforms to allow myself to be fully seen in this process. While any one of these things might seem like a small thing, it is felt and it has been revolutionary in my life.
So when I saw that, my producer Rachel she's like a freaking sleuth on the internet, and so she always finds stuff like this. So she sent that to me a while ago, not 3 months ago, but probably about a month ago. And so I wasn't super surprised when Anna made this post. Now, I do want to talk about a comment that was left on this post. For some reason, I cannot see it on this post right here on Instagram, but I have it on my phone. And the comment goes on to kind of challenge this a little bit. And I'm not saying I agree with this comment, but I do think there are good points that are made. So I'll throw it up on the screen and I'll read it here. How long have you been taking it? On July 10th, you denied your rapid weight loss was due to surgery and said it was down to treating previously undiagnosed medical conditions, learning how to eat to manage pain, and sweat equity. You said, in case you're wondering, now you know. You left out the appetite suppressant medication. Personally find that off-brand for you. And yes, inauthentic. If needed, you were taking the medication. If indeed you were taking the medication prior to your July 10th How I'm Losing Weight post, in that case, why make a How I'm Losing Weight post at all? With this, I do think that there are interesting points that are made here, right? At the end of the day, no one has to ever disclose anything on social media if you don't want to. Like, if I want to get a surgery and not tell my followers, like, I have that right. But, and I think it's a big but it's true. At least this is how I feel. I do think there is a difference, and I could be wrong on this. 100% I could be wrong. But this is just how I feel, right? But someone that has a following that I feel very blessed with, but I also feel like because of that trust that they have put in me, I should be as honest as possible with them, okay? And so that's where I'm coming from this. When you are someone that your weight and your size has become a big part of your brand, whether that's, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to be a weight loss influencer, or I'm okay with my weight, or whatever. It's just like your weight is a big part of it. I do think that if it was me, if I was in her shoes, I probably would disclose it as soon as possible. Just because I just feel like that's the right thing to do, because there are so many people that are going to be asking those questions. And especially if someone asked, did I get surgery? While saying no isn't technically a lie, there is obvious something was helping, right? Getting these medications, if they didn't help, why would you be taking them, right? So like disclosing getting this help, I think is important. And I think, some people will sit here and say it's cheating, right? Getting these medications or getting weight loss surgery. I used to think that same thing, if I'm being completely honest. When I first started my Instagram, I've talked about this before. I made it very clear. I lost my weight naturally, no surgery, right? Now, honestly, I don't care. Like, I really, really do not care at all. I think that if you should do whatever you need to do to lose weight healthy. I actually literally just put this out on Threads. I don't know, I'm a big Threads influencer. So what I ended up posting was, being against weight loss medication or surgeries because it's the easy way out truly misses the point of obesity. At the end of the day, I want people to be successful in long-term sustained weight loss. So whatever you need to do to make that happen healthily, go for it, right? And so I don't think there's anything wrong with getting anything to help your weight loss, but I do think if you are a public figure that your weight has become a big deal, and especially if you have people asking about it, I do think that it's, at least in my opinion, the right thing to do. And it just makes sense to put it out there and be honest about those things and not feel any sort of shame. You shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel like you're cheating because you got a weight loss surgery or because you're taking a medication. Those things are there to help you. But I do think it's important to at least let people know as soon as possible. Again, in my opinion. But again, that's just how I feel. I'm genuinely curious what other people think out there. Am I wrong? Do you agree? Who knows? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I seriously appreciate all of your time. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.